To talk about fat in the CDC budget, you can start 2,000 miles away in Hollywood, where CDC pays a liaison to help TV dramas and soap operas write accurate medical plots. The service is free of charge to Tinseltown moguls through the generosity of $1.7 million of your tax dollars.
That is obviously a waste of taxpayer dollars, and they need to stop it.
Congressman Dave Weldon is a doctor and a member of the House committee that funds CDC. He's outraged by the Hollywood story and other examples of spending exposed in a congressional report, CDC Off-Center. There's the new $109 million headquarters filled with nearly $10 million in furniture, which the report says works out to $12,000 per person in the building. It's named after Arlen Specter, a top Republican senator in charge of CDC funding. But the namings are bipartisan. A top Democrat senator, Thomas Harkin, gets his name on the new $106 million Communications and Visitors Center, complete with waterfalls, plasma TVs, and more. The $200,000 fitness center rivals the most posh private clubs with $30,000 saunas, quiet rooms, and zero-gravity chairs, complete with mood-enhancing light shows for stressed-out employees. As for disease prevention, your money's being spent there too, but too often with disappointing results, says the report. AIDS grants have been given to groups who've used them for workshops on erotic writing, how to flirt, and how to throw an alcohol party. CDC spent $5 billion over 7 years on AIDS prevention, but the infection rate didn't drop a bit. And after it spent $269 million tax dollars on an effort to eliminate syphilis, syphilis rates went up 68%.
If a private company were spending money and getting no results like that, the investors in that company would withdraw their money.
CDC Director Julie Gerberding wouldn't agree to an interview from CDC's new state-of-the-art television studio or anywhere else. But the agency issued a statement saying CDC takes seriously the need to wisely and appropriately use its resources, that the report gives an incomplete view of its excellent public health work. The new facility replaces dilapidated buildings and has led to scientific advances and strengthened our ability to respond to public health emergencies. CDC recently told Congress it needs $1 billion on top of its $10 billion budget. Some say the agency needs to do a thorough internal exam before asking taxpayers to open their wallets wider. Cheryl Atkinson, CBS News, Capitol.
So as you've seen, a lot of videos there about the pharmacy, especially the antidepressants. I mean, wow, there's so much. I know this is kind of long, but just to finish up some other stuff, I just wanted to read a few things that I saw and was going to kind of read. So here they are. Let me get to it here. This is part of naturalnews.com. This was a story. It says Governor Schwarzenegger backs aerial biochemical spraying that harms children. Just to read it a little bit, on September the 9th, 2007, several planes hired by the state of California Food and Agriculture Department, or this CDFA, flying at an altitude approximately 500 feet, sprayed the untested biochemical Checkmate OLR-F on over 30,000 citizens in Monterey and other surrounding cities in California. This occurred without the permission of the citizens. The spraying continued for 3 nights from approximately 8 p.m. to 5 a.m. About 1,500 pounds of biochemical were dumped on the cities. Many citizens did not even know what was happening when the planes were buzzing overhead. Remember I said about chemtrails earlier. An 11-month-old child nearly died from breathing difficulties. A 6-year-old child developed asthma as a result of the aerial spraying. Over 100 people signed affidavits stating that they got sick from the spraying. Hundreds of people had symptoms like shortness of breath, headaches, dizziness, burning lungs, nausea, and muscle aches. The excuse for aerial spraying is not a deadly disease-carrying mosquito, but a moth whose larvae may eat some leaves of some plants, called the light brown apple moth. The CDFA considered the moth an invasive species since it was from Australia, yet evidence suggests that the moth has been in California for many years, living peacefully. In response to the moth, the CDFA set up relatively harmless sticky traps which have captured nearly every light brown apple's moth in Northern California regions. Governor Schwarzenegger is a strong supporter of the declared emergency, the need to spray untested biochemicals on humans to stop the LBAM from destroying crops. Okay, so that's all I'm going to read from that. Also from the site, it listed some other things here. Investigation panel concludes U.S. government conspired with doctors to commit murderous medical experiments in Guatemala. According to this, U.S. government medical researchers, including those from the National Institute of Health, engaged in heinous crimes through secret medical experiments on Guatemalan medical experiments, concluded on an investigative report commissioned by President Obama. Yes, don't you love that guy? The report concluded that 1. The U.S. government knowingly funded and deliberately engaged in criminal medical experiments against Guatemalan prisoners from 1946 to 1948, and that the people engaged in these crimes were then promoted to high levels of influence in the medical community. At least 5,500 people were drafted into the experiments, including children, women, and the mentally ill. The number deliberately infected with sexually transmitted disease, or STDs, exceeded 1,300 that we know of. U.S. doctors and medical research knowingly and deliberately violated all the fundamental medical ethics, including do not harm. The victims of this criminal government-run pharmaceutical experiment with mentally ill prisoners who were deliberately infected with STDs just to see what would happen. The victims were not treated like human beings, but rather like laboratory animals, and were deprived of basic human dignity in these heinous medical crimes. So that is that. Also on the site, they have mentioned on the naturalnews.com, this is 11 shocking things you now believe to be true, but you never would have believed just 3 years ago. And some of you might know this. Number 1, most of the honey you buy in the grocery store contains no actual honey whatsoever. It's technicality honey. Most of it's made from cheap mystery sweeteners illegally imported from China right under the nose of the FDA. Actually, I bet the FDA does know about it from FDA. Number 2, I spoke about this in the last video really quick. The fluoride that's dripped into municipal water supplies is actually a highly toxic industrial chemical byproduct. You probably think fluoride's really good, like for your teeth and everything. Do a research on it. You'll find that it makes holes in your teeth, and it will cause mental disabilities in your head. It's another way that they have affected us. Number 3, flu vaccines often contain live flu viruses and actually cause the flu as a way to worsen the flu season and scare more people into buying vaccines. That's why I do not get vaccines, people. I just showed you the videos of what happened to people that get vaccines. Alright, we know this. Ron Paul is deliberately stripped out of mainstream news reports, online polls, and debate coverage in order to game the system against him. Ron Paul is trying to run the president and try to do it. Now you just see that Newt Gingrich actually won on this. Who would vote for that silly craphead? No offense. Forgive me, Lord. Number 5, the United States government openly traffics illegal guns into Mexico as a way to cause gun violence in the USA. Number 6, President's U.S. hospitals are widely engaged in black market organ trafficking and organ transplants. Yep, that's another story. Number 7, one that is very own to me that really upsets me. The child sex slave industry is huge, highly profitable, and found everywhere across America and the world. This goes into that mind control and all of that stuff there. Number 8, commercial chickens are routinely fed arsenic, and commercial cows are routinely fed chicken poop. Man, there's so many movies out there. You can watch King Corn. You can watch the story about Walmart. You can there's so many things about the food industry, and really it comes down to 3 people that own it all. Tyson chicken, bad. Oh, okay, anyway. Number 9, natural foods and cereals are routinely made with genetically modified ingredients. So that's another way you ought to see genetically modified animals and stuff. But yes, there is even, they have put jellyfish, glowing jellyfish into pigs and called pigs that glow green. If you don't believe me, watch this. I'll show you just really quick on Google. And let me see, glowing pigs. There you have it, folks. Glowing pigs. This is from, yep, what I was telling you. Jellyfish, University of Dewan, Department of Animal Research. Anyway, you can look at this stuff on your own. Alright, we all know this now. This is big news. Number 10, the global banking industry is a criminal racket that steals wealth from working class people and redistributes this to the global wealthy elite. Number 11, the U.S. government routinely conspires with pharmaceutical giants to conduct criminal, inhumane medical experiments on innocent people. So, yeah, that's all true. We already looked at the CDC doing their things. You can look at all this stuff on forum.prisonplanet.com. Here's the little stuff there. Look, here's the latest thing. Weird sounds that happened on January the 16th. And I'm not really worried about, I'm not really sure about all of this, but listen to this. This has happened worldwide everywhere. Venice, Florida, Chicago, Los Angeles. I don't know if it's a scam or not, but it has something to do with heart. Here we go. Watch this. Listen to the noise. Hear that? What is that? Check this out. Here's another one that does the same thing. That was Venice, Florida. Here's other thing Harp's doing, this humming thing. I saw this here.
Good morning. This noise has been going on since like 3 o'clock.
That's very close.
Anyway, this is the Army of Truth. This was on prescriptions, antidepressants. There's going to be more on this. This is a touchy subject. Sorry, long time here, but anyway, take care. Spiky hair, just kidding. Army of Truth, this is Sean Bott. Okay. So anyway, I did a lot of stuff on this. I'm not finished with this subject. This is sensitive to me, and I want to, if you are on Facebook, you're on my yearbook, any of these different places, Twitter, get in contact with me. If you're a doctor, you're a surgeon, you're in the pharmaceutical company, anything, I need to speak with research. Any of you that are whistleblowers or anything, or you don't want to be, I can cover everything up, whatever you need. I need this to go viral, people. We need to get this out. And look. We need to combine and say enough is enough with these corporations. When it comes to the pharmaceutical, when it comes to the health industry, when it comes to the food industry, they're all owned by the same people. Look up MSNBC, look up Fox News, look up Viacom, look who owns them, and see that the pharmaceutical companies are behind it. They make millions and millions of dollars and stuff, and all the war things. Here we got a debt that is so freaking high that we can't even count, and people can't even buy houses and stuff and foreclosures, but yet you can get all the military vehicles that are up there on sale. We're going to war at all these different places. All these things keep coming. We can spend on war and all that profit, and we can spend on pharmaceutical and all of this stuff, but we can't help the common man next to each other. You know, I'm getting so mad and upset with this. This is so emotional. This is Sean White. This is the Army of Truth. Take care, spiky hair. Just kidding. See ya. Comment, subscribe, comment. Please, need comments. Let this thing go viral. Let's take these corporation bastards down to the fucking ground.